Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Royal Express News. My name is Kaylee, and I'll bring you the latest updates on today. Professor blames Trump's administration on raising the rate of crime in Mexico. Yes, it's a statement from Professor Guadalupe Correa Cabrera. President Trump, in his campaign for the president position, said, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lost their problems. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. This is the reason for the policy Trump. However, recently when Guadalupe traveled to Tijuana and other U.S.-Mexico border towns to conduct research on how the Trump's administration's policies are affecting the situation there, she figured out that influxes of vulnerable people to places struggling with organized crime has threatened both the migrants' lives and regional stability. Let's take a more close look at the interview with her. Do you think it's possible that some of the people who have been deported back to Mexico are already committed crimes before they were deported back to Mexico? Because you are saying deportation policy is making Mexico's life worse.
Mexico and the United States, because people are very vulnerable and we have cartels at the border, operating at the border, and we have corruption in Mexico. Therefore, when you deport people to the border, they find themselves like they want to come back to the United States. They don't have their families or their networks, and some of them are forced to participate in the criminal activities, or some of them want to go to the United States, so they hire some smugglers that are in connection with the cartel.
I understand, but why is that our problem?
Well, it's not your problem, but you might have a problem as well, because you will have more criminal groups operating on the Mexican side of the border, and as you know, people are still arriving to the United States, no matter what.
Why there is border here?
I believe that every country has to have some kind of limit, and I think borders are important to establish certain limits.
But it's somehow a little bit difficult here, as America has to think for Mexico. Of course, the US wants Mexico to be well, but it doesn't mean our policies have to be changed.
I think that you're right, but at the same time, the United States can be threatened by more violence.
It seems that Mexico is not yet satisfying that this policy. Let's throw back to what President Trump did state about U.S.-Mexico policy border.
Very much. We're signing an executive order. I consider it to be a very important executive order. It's about keeping families together, while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border, and border security will be equal, if not greater, than previously. So we're going to have strong, very strong borders, but we're going to keep the families together. I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated. There's a problem that's gone on for many years, as you know, through many administrations, and we're working very hard on immigration. It's been just left out in the cold. People haven't dealt with it, and we are dealing with it. So step by step, just like we dealt with North Korea, we dealt with Iran, we dealt with an economy that was heading in the wrong direction, we dealt with a lot of different problems. This is one that has been gone on for many decades. So we're keeping families together, and this will solve that problem. At the same time, we are keeping a very powerful border, and it continues to be a zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance for people that enter our country illegally. With that, I'd ask Mike Pence, Vice President, if he'd like to say anything.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. And, I think what the President's made clear is we believe it's a false choice between whether we are a country of law and order, a country with borders, and a country that demonstrates the compassion and the heart of the American people and respect for families. By taking this action, the President will make it possible for us to continue to engage in enforcing the law against individuals who violate our law, come into our country illegally, but now we'll be able in that prosecution in the immediate days forward to keep families together as that goes forward. But we are calling on Congress to change the laws in this regard and in a broad range of areas that will secure our borders and give us strength and confidence that we are once again going to take the steps necessary to end the crisis of illegal immigration in America.
I think the word compassion comes into it, but it's still equally as tough, if not tougher. Secretary Newsom.
I just thank you for your leadership, sir. We look forward and expect the House to act this week. We ask them to do their job. The laws need to be changed. This is a problem that president after president has dealt with for decades. This one is willing to stand up and fix it. We ask Congress to do their part. Thank you, sir, for your leadership.
Thank you very much. Great job. Okay. You're going to have a lot of happy people. Yeah.
President, why did you wait so long to sign this coverage?
This has been going on for 60 years. 60 years, nobody's taken care of it. Nobody's had the political courage to take care of it, but we're going to take care of it. It's been going on for a long time.
Do you think you're backing down? Critics
No, the border is just as tough, but we do want to keep families together. This is a problem. If you look at some of those horrible scenes from a few years ago, to me they were horrible scenes. They were just terrible, and that was during the Obama administration. Other administrations have had the same thing. We're keeping the family together, and so this is it. And also, there may be some litigation. We're also wanting to go through Congress. We will be going through Congress. We're working on a much more comprehensive bill. A lot of good things are happening toward immigration and proper immigration, but we have to have strong borders, and ultimately we want to see it done right, and it will be done right. But what we have done today is we are keeping families together. The borders are just as tough, just as strong. They can come in through ports of entry if they want. That's a whole different story. And that's coming in through a process, and the process is what we want. So
both the migrants' lives and regional stability are under great threat. What governors should do is to rediscuss this carefully or find a solution for this case. From a point of view, with this border, both countries have to gain some advantages, not just from one side only or badly affect one another. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the duration of today's program. Thank you for watching.